What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Big Dog Bear. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. We are in week 6 of college football. Man, we're halfway through the regular season, which is not normally halfway for Georgia fans or quality football team fans. So, want to appreciate all you guys for being here today. I know we haven't been getting as much content out as we normally do, but hey, that's life. So really appreciate you guys being here. All you guys are awesome. You guys are what make this channel happen. You guys have given a meaning to being obsessed. So thank you so much for doing that. All of you college football degenerates out there like myself, I really appreciate you guys being here. So we have got a lot to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about the University of Georgia game. We're going to be talking about top 10 matchups. We're going to be talking about who, what, where, why, and when on how we think these teams are going to match up together. I am going to throw out the link. So if anybody wants to join, feel free. But first, let me. You know what? I'm feeling it today. So we're gonna go and throw out the link here. Man, just a lot of energy today, which is great. Normally, I feel like a 9-volt battery that has no juice to it when you through your tongue. So there's that. Yeah. Woo. But today I feel great. So I don't know if it is the chill in the air. Feels like football is here. Doesn't feel like a bazillion degrees outside, which is great. Got all the Halloween decorations up. You guys will get to see some of that later. Yeah. So night game for UGA. Man, it's going to be a great day. Going to be a great day for college football. Woke up this morning, left the window open, and I said, you know what? I'm a little chilly. And I went, and that's great. It is a great day to be outside enjoying this beautiful fall weather, unless you live in Florida, which, enjoy that. Yeah. So where I'm at, it's about 65 degrees or something. Man, it's just been great. Let me see here. Let me get you. Oh my goodness. When I woke up this morning, it was 53 degrees. Oh Lord. It is currently, hold up, wait a minute. It's still 53. Feels like 50. I'm digging it. So, what's up, Keith? Let's go ahead and get a roll call through the chat here. We appreciate you guys. If you guys are in the live stream in the background, go ahead and throw your name down in the chat. We'll give you a quick shout out. So, Jay Shipes, our resident Gilligan fighter, we appreciate him being here, sir. Thank you, sir. Need to make you a t-shirt and send you one for that. Cliff Millwood, one of our regulars there. Thanks for being here, sir. Jay Shipes says he throwed a 4 by 5.5 foot poker table weighing 100 pounds off the top of an SUV, doing 75 on the way to Athens. Strap broke, didn't crack or break. Little road rash on the corners, but lucky as friends. You got it, buddy. What's up, Keith? We love having him on here. One of our higher football IQ individuals. We like having him on. If you want to, if you want to join the show this morning, Keith, feel free. Alex MLD, one of our resident members, has been a member of the channel for a long time. And if you want to be a member, you can join and support the channel. It only costs like a couple bucks a month. Helps buy the old big dog a cup of coffee, keeps the channel going, lets me buy some of this industrial high quality candle lighting that I have here that you guys get to enjoy. So I appreciate you guys for that. Oh, let's see who Chiquita. Oh man, she's always around here. Such a beautiful young lady. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see who else we got. 225 girl. I knew I saw another name in there. Good morning and go dogs. That's right. So, guys, it's going to be a great day for college football. We're going to run over the lineup here real quick, kind of talk about what we see, who, what, where, why, and when. And in case you missed it last night, Oklahoma State beat Kansas State. In case you missed it. So I know we all thought Oklahoma State might be a little better than they were, but Oklahoma State gets out of there with a win. K-State was ranked, no longer ranked, and took another L. So they're even further out of the top 25. We've got some great games lined up for you guys today. By the way, good luck and best wishes to my daughter who is taking the SAT this morning. She got up at like 6:30 this morning on a Saturday to go take the SAT. So good luck. Hi, we wish you well. She'll do fine. She's really smart. Much smarter than me. So, Oklahoma versus Texas coming up in a noon game. That is going to be broadcast on TV on ABC. So, probably get to enjoy a nice noon game here. Now, a lot of people have Texas picked for this game. I am not one of them. I am picking Oklahoma. Listen, this is not the Oklahoma you guys remember from days of past that had no defense. This team has defense. Sir, that car has a turn signal, a steering wheel, and a brake. Just kidding, man. I appreciate you being here. I'm good. Just got into work, and you? Well, I'm working here for you guys. This is all for you. So, let's get back to Texas, Oklahoma. Texas, Oklahoma. Man. So Texas has had a really, really outstanding season so far, and I think people are not quite giving them the credit that they should. Texas has a great offense as well. Quinn Ewers has been great this year, but I think Gabriel at Oklahoma is just a little bit better, little bit better. I would give the edge to Texas in the running game, but I would give the edge to Oklahoma in the passing game. If you look at Texas's past few games, they played KU. They absolutely obliterated them. Same thing with Baylor. They beat Wyoming by 21 points. They beat Alabama by 10. And if you look at Oklahoma, they beat Iowa State by 30 points. They beat Cincinnati by 2 touchdowns. They beat Tulsa by almost 50 points. And they beat Arkansas State 73-0. So if you're asking me, yeah, I think Texas could easily win this game, but I just got this feeling, man. I just got this feeling. It's up heating up. Mine's been heated up. Start tighten up. Fall behind. I'm at home and about to clean up, says Chiquita. Man, she's on the ball. 9:30 in the morning, already up watching BDB Sports, cleaning. Hey, that's what's let's get ready for football, man. Get that stuff out of the way. All right. So, but yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma in this game. I think Oklahoma will do an outstanding job. These teams are pretty evenly matched, and it's really, I think, going to come down to the final possession of this game. This is going to be the biggest test that either team has had so far, but I think it's going to be a bigger gap offensive wise than Texas than it is going to be for Oklahoma. That's just the way I feel about it. I don't know why I feel that way, but that's the way I feel. Who do the Heffalumps play today? Well, the Heffalumps play Texas A&M today, and don't worry, we're going to get to that game yet still. So I want to put you guys on to the other noon game, and there's a few noon games that's worth watching. I'm going to put you guys on to the other noon game, which is Ohio State versus Maryland. Now, I get that Ohio State is ranked number 4, and I get that Maryland is unranked. However, you're looking at a Maryland team that's doing really well, really, really well, really, really well. They're 5-0 with wins over Indiana, Michigan State, UVA, Chattanooga, and TOW, whomever that is. Ohio State has not looked really dominant against a quality component. Like they played Notre Dame. They barely won that game. Notre Dame should have sealed that game away. Guys, I got to tell you, you may have heard of a young man by the name of Taulia Tagovailoa. Yes, he is brother to Tua Tagovailoa. This guy can play. He's really good. He's really good. He threw for 350 yards last week against Indiana. Threw for 350 yards, 70% completion percentage. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's really good. Maryland has been on a roll. What's up, Junkyard Dog? Maryland's been really good. I think they're going to give Ohio State a fight here. I would not be surprised if Maryland somehow finds a way to win this game. You can't. If Ohio State does not perform well in this game, it's going to hurt them. It's really going to hurt them. I think it's going to hurt them rankings wise, and I think it's going to hurt them stats wise as far as what's the word I'm looking for here? The power when they're looking at the end of the season here when it comes down to potentially fighting for a position in college football playoff. So if they don't really get off and rolling here, I expect them to try to come out hot. And Maryland's secondary is really good. So they've only allowed about 200 yards a game, and they've only allowed about 100 yards rushing. Ohio State is allowed about 150 through the air and 106. So this is going to be a really good game. I would not be surprised if Maryland gives them all they can stand. I would not be surprised at all. Yeah, I'm for the Terps. Terp or derps. Get in there, Terrapins. If defense don't let up, the Nuts will lose. I agree. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. Now, if you want to know another good game, I got another one for you. I got a really good one for you. Also, a noon game, which I kind of hate when all these good games are stacked up together, but at least we have good games. LSU versus the Missouri Tigers. These teams are ranked 21 and 23. Guys, I got to tell you, I think Missouri might win this game. I think Missouri might win this game. And you may say, "Oh, they only beat K-State by 3 points, or they only beat Middle Tennessee by 4." Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somehow LSU found a way to lose to Ole Miss. LSU only beat Arkansas by 3 points. Yeah, they hung 72 on Gramble, but guys, Arkansas by 3. Arkansas's in the dumpster this year, guys. Arkansas, and I love Sam Pittman. I love what he's doing out there, but he's taken 3 straight L's. 3 straight L's. I think LSU and Texas A&M are about an even matchup, but I got to tell you, I think Missouri's on a roll. They're on a tear, absolutely on a tear. B. Cook, he's throwing for somewhere around. Geez, what was this guy's numbers? Let me pull it up real quick. It was something insane. Yeah, he's averaging like 75% completion percentage. That's what he's averaging. This guy's dropping dimes. So far this season, he's thrown 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's first game of the season, he threw for 172. Second game, he threw for 200. Then he threw for 350, 340, and then 395. Oh my Lord. So, what's up, Junkyard Dog? I think Missouri is going to win this game, guys. I'm taking Missouri. I don't care what the points is. I'm taking Missouri outright. They're higher ranked. ESPN's matchup predictor has put them at 72% favorability for LSU. I got to tell you, I think it's wrong. I don't think Brian Kelly has got a plan for what Missouri is about to bring to town. Missouri over there been sitting in the corner nice and quiet and rung up 5-0 in the season. What's up, Elite GB? Good morning. I'm pretty dang excited to see how our run defense steps up today. I'm sure Kentucky is going to test us early and often. Don't worry, sir. We will get into that. All right. So I think that's pretty much it for the noon games worth watching. Then you're going to jump down and you're going to see Washington State versus UCLA around 3 o'clock. That should be an okay game to kind of fill the time until about 3:30. Florida State comes on. They're playing Virginia Tech. I'm not a big fan of Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has not looked good this year. I think they started the season with a win, and then they went 3 straight L's, and those L's were to Purdue, Rutgers, and Marshall. Somehow they get a win over Pitt. But FSU has proved to be a scrappier team. People are giving Florida State, for some reason, they're giving Florida State a bunch of hype. They think that this may be the number 1 team in the country. I'm here to tell you they're not. They're not close. They beat LSU by a couple of touchdowns, and they beat USM by 45 or 50 or whatever it was. But then they beat Boston College by 2, and they needed an overtime to beat Clemson, which Clemson has not been great this year. They lost to Duke, and then they lost to Florida State. And I'm curious to see how their game is going to play out today. Clemson's game is going to play out today against Wake Forest, but Elite, right on that, brother. We stand strong tonight. No big plays for Cats. Everything stays in front. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to get to that game. We are going to talk about that game. Absolutely, we're going to talk about that game. But first, we have got to talk about. I'm still taking Florida State to win that game, by the way. But first, we're going to talk about Texas A&M, Alabama. All right, so we know that they've had some quarterback problems. Looks like they kind of got it fixed. They looked really good against Mississippi State and absolutely drubbing 40-17. And the defense has been playing well. They didn't play quite as well last week if they played the weeks prior. They also took that L early in the season, Texas, and I think that motivated them a little bit. But guys, they only beat USF by it was 17-3. I mean, that's not good. That's not good. And we can talk about the quarter thing back and forth. But guys, I'm going to tell you what you don't know, but you finna find out. Texas A&M's a little better than what they're giving credit for. They're allowing less than 100 yards in rushing per game all season. And that includes one of those teams was Auburn, which torched Georgia on the run game. So you got to give the Texas A&M Aggies a little bit of credit here. You got to give them some recognition that they might be in this game. By the way, their quarterback, Connor Wegman has been, for the most part, lights out at home. He's almost 80% completion percentage at home. Not as good on the road. Right around 60%, but he's averaging near 70% total. So the guy's definitely got some talent. He's got some arm ability here. And the Texas Aggies have done a pretty good job of protecting him. I think he's only taken 2 or 3 sacks all season. So he can certainly be an interesting factor for this team. Now, give me 1 second here. I got to, yeah. Man, that's good coffee. Buy your boy Big Dog Bread a coffee. Do that for me because I'm running out of coffee. All right. Let's see. Where was I at? I lost my train of thought. Choo-choo off the tracks. All right. So Jalen Milroe has been playing really well. Jalen Milroe here recently, I think, if I remember correctly, he's averaging like 80% completion percentage. He was 81% against Ole Miss. He was 83% against Mississippi State. So passing is a big part of their game. But the problem is that, Texas A&M's offensive line, Alabama's offensive line, not too good. He took 4 sacks in that game. He took 4 sacks against Mississippi State. He took 5 sacks against Texas. This guy's been sacked more than an express checkout counter at Kroger's, getting sacked a lot. So I would recommend, if I was Texas A&M, to get after this guy and put him on his back. I think that this game could come down to the last quarter. I won't say the last possession. I'll say last quarter. But it would not surprise me if Texas A&M jumps up here and pops them in the mouth and wins that game. Yeah, Milroe will not be able to stay up on his the rest of the season that way. It's just not going to happen. That's too much. Hold on. I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. Where is it at? There we go. Sorry, I had the show start soon, and we're 25 minutes into the show. Jeez, slacking, big dog, slacking. Tighten up. North Carolina plays Syracuse. By the way, I'm gonna give the edge to Alabama here, just barely. But I'm gonna say Alabama, but by less than 10 points for sure. Maybe just a field goal. They're playing at Texas A&M. It's gonna be a hostile environment. It's gonna be rough. I don't know how Jalen Milroe is gonna respond to that. We'll see. But I think Texas A&M could win this game. It would not surprise me if Texas A&M was winning at half. Would not surprise me. You heard it here first. All right, North Carolina versus Syracuse. Man, nobody cares. North Carolina, whatever. Let's see. Vanderbilt versus Florida. Vanderbilt. I'm picking Vanderbilt. Vandy. Handy dandy Vandy. They got a 12% chance to win. I ain't picking them. Listen to me now. Yeah. So Vanderbilt's been averaging like 30 points a game or something crazy. Vanderbilt, not awesome, but they're averaging 30 points a game. They're averaging more passing yards per game than Florida is. And I think Vanderbilt can win this game. They're playing at Ben Hill Stadium, but I don't care. I'm just telling you. I think Vanderbilt can win this game. It would not surprise me. Totally agree. A lead, a few turnovers that game. Texas A&M win. Yeah. Junkyard, no doubt. I think the impact will be third down. They try to wear USC. What's up, sub shooting? So, long story short, I want to pick Florida to win this game because I think Florida should win this game. Florida been such a dad blame disappointment. It would not surprise me. I'm gonna pick Florida. I'm pick Florida to win, but it would not surprise me if Vanderbilt wins this game. Now watch Florida win by 30. All right, let's back that thing up. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so I think that's it for the 3:30 games. Double check. That's a 4:00 game, so 3:30, whatever. Georgia does play a night game. Finally, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great environment. Georgia's gonna be chugging along. It's gonna be good. We'll come back to that game in a minute. Ole Miss versus Arkansas. And Ole Miss really surprised us last week. We thought Ole Miss was going to do a much better job against Texas A&M. They did. They ended up losing that game. I think that's because Texas A&M, Arkansas. Arkansas thought they were going to do a little better because they did. I thought they did pretty decent against LSU. I thought they were going to do a little better against Texas A&M. They did, and they lost 34-22. Ole Miss come out and beat LSU 55-49. Ole Miss got a pretty good offense. Arkansas don't. I think they're throwing for around 60% or so completion percentage. Jay Dart, he's at like 60%. So, I mean, looking pretty good so far. I'm going to take Ole Miss in this game. Excuse me. But Ole Miss's offense is going to be looking to continue that role they had against LSU. I think they win this game. I think they win it pretty handily. They'll probably win by 14 or more. All right. So then we come down to Louisville versus Notre Dame. With the world's most ridiculous start time award goes to Notre Dame and the Louisville Cardinals, starting on ABC at a 7:37 start time according to ESPN. It's just a typo, 7:30. So I'm going to go rag on ESPN at 7:37 according to them. Benny with the win streak over 4 would be hilarious. Word it will. So Louisville versus the Cards. Louisville's offense has looked pretty good for the most part. Did not look that good against North Carolina State. Did not look too good against Indiana. And they started the season, they barely beat Georgia Tech 39-34. So that essentially, because they're 5-0 and so few teams are, that edges them into the top 25. And between the number 25 and about number 55 is pretty much a mix. You can mix those teams around. They're pretty even. I think Notre Dame is a legitimate top 10 team. They did a really good job of containing OSU's offense. They slowed Duke down considerably. Duke was not able to get more than 14 points. OSU only got 17. CMU got 17. Now, whenever Notre Dame, and that's where they made a change, by the way. When Notre Dame played NC State, the Wolfpack, the score was 45-24. So they allowed 24 points in that game, but their defense has gotten better and better as they moved along. I look for Arizona to be absolutely bottlenecked here. They're going to stagnate this team. They're going to smother them to death. Listen, if you think that there are some good quarterbacks out there this season and you're not putting Sam Hartman on that list, you need to check yourself. He's averaging. He's probably gonna get 3,000 yards this season, and he's already got 14 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. I know his completion percentage is mid-60s at best, but I'm just telling you, this guy is a really good quarterback. He really does a great job. He has improved dramatically. Last season, he threw for 38 touchdowns and 3,700 yards, but he threw 12 interceptions. So Sam Hartman has made a change to be a little more conservative with the ball and make better throws. And so far, he's proved that he can. Now, he's not going to have a fall-apart game against Louisville. Notre Dame's going to win this game probably 34-14 or something, or 28-14. It'll be something like that. Carson is working his way up the line quietly. Yes, he is. And we'll get to that soon. Hey, what's up, Pastor Dave? What's up, Micah? As a Tennessee fan, I got Kentucky winning. Micah, bruh, don't make yourself look bad like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. I like your picks, BVD. I would have picked Vanity. Is BVD in here? I didn't see BVD. BVD in here? Don't be calling me BVD, man. What's wrong with you? Come on, Elite. You better than that. Yo, Crimson Brave, what's up, brother? All right, so here's what we got. All right, finally. Well, hold on. Miami versus Georgia Tech. I hate Georgia Tech. Hate, double hate, loathe entirely. I can't stand Georgia Tech. Can't stand Georgia Tech. Listen, Miami's been kind of quietly hanging out in the background as well. I'm just telling you, people are not giving Miami their due. Not giving them their due. They look better than most of the teams in the top 10. They really do. They're only allowing 48 rushing yards per game. 48. That's right, 48. They ain't played nobody. They played Texas A&M, and they beat Texas A&M 48-33. 48-33, sir. 48-33. And if you go look at that game and you look at the box score, Texas A&M had 97 yards rushing and 330 through the air, but that didn't save them. Didn't save them at all. So I'm just telling you, Miami is going to beat the absolute fire, snot, will to live, and intelligence of what's left out of Georgia Tech. It's going to happen. So we're losing by 10 or more. Pastor Dave said they're losing by 10 or more. Wouldn't surprise me. I said earlier before you got here that I thought it would come down to the final quarter, and I think it's going to come down to who plays better in the fourth quarter, because I think if you guys are down in the fourth quarter and you guys start to get a little bit tired, it's over. Now, every game that you guys are playing from here on out is a must win. It's must see TV. It's must win. It's a college football playoff game every game the rest of the year. But I'm just telling you, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a hard fought game. Okay. Miami to kill Georgia Tech. USC comes on at 10:30. If you're going to say it and watch that, be my guest. I think Arizona's not that bad of a team. We're going to get back to Georgia. Don't run off yet. Arizona's not that bad of a team, but they're not that great of the team. Their team's been doing pretty well as far as defense goes. But, man, USC should destroy them. But USC also has no defense. You don't believe me? Go back and watch last week when they played Colorado and somehow allowed Colorado to score 41 points against them. A terrible Colorado team. Yes, they're terrible. It's USC is going to win the game, but Arizona is going to score more points than they should. We'll just say it like that. Pastor Day says we don't have any offense. You guys are getting it figured out. You got to have a little faith in your coach there. Your quarterback is pretty decent, so we'll get to it. All right, now what everybody's been waiting for, at least what I've been waiting for. I always put this at the end because I get all emotional. I get involved, right? So when it comes down to the Georgia game, I never bet on Georgia games. The reason I never bet on Georgia games is because I'm always broke. I mean, because you shouldn't bet on the team that you're in favor of. So the ESPN matchup predictor has Georgia at 86% probability to win, leaving only a 14% probability to win for Kentucky. Now, you may be saying to yourself, but Georgia did terrible against the run against Auburn, and Ray Davis was absolutely been destroying everybody. Yeah, that is correct. That's absolutely correct. You are correct that Kentucky ran up and down the field, left, right, sideways, inside, out ways, sideways, slant ways, back ways, forward ways, and any other kind of ways you can think of on Florida. Guess what, Jack? This ain't Florida. It's not. It's not Florida. It's Georgia. But Auburn, yes. But Auburn, right? Mm-hmm. Let me explain something to you. There is a big difference in how Georgia is built, how Auburn is built, and how Kentucky is built. I would wager to tell you that whenever Kentucky plays Auburn, if they were to play Auburn, they would probably lose that game. The reason they would lose that game is because the way that Auburn plays that run game, they have a running quarterback. Kentucky does not. And they're smaller and they're fast. They're very fast, and we saw that. Kentucky's not built that way. Kentucky's built like Georgia. They're big up front. They're heavy. They don't move quite as fast as we would like, and we've seen that all season. Excuse me. We've seen that all season. Georgia has been able to do a lot of things, and Georgia has kind of found its identity. Prime is a top 5 coach in college football. And no, not even close. Not even close, sir. What's up, the truth? Auburn was faster than us. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Carson Beck should throw to Brock, but 2 more targets set up. Look, we have Ra Thomas, Resemy Jack Saint, Dominic Lovett. We've got a ton of people to throw to. Ladd McConkey, Brock Bowers, Dylan Bell's been switched to running back. And you're also looking at Dejon Edwards. And, I mean, we're getting healthier. Georgia's had a lot of injuries. We're getting healthier. That's not to make excuses. Can't make excuses when you're winning. So when you look at Georgia and you see that they are winning the games, you say, well, you're making excuses. No, it's not making excuses if you're calling it like it is. We are getting players back off of the injury list. That means Georgia's going to be better. That would apply for every team in the country if they're still winning games. And yes, Kentucky's 5-0. If they're still winning games and then they manage to, excuse me, get players back that make them better. That's what Georgia's going to do. Georgia's, if you want to know the game plan for Georgia, here's what Georgia's going to do. Georgia, I don't know if Ladd's 100%. He's been dealing with back pain off and on for a couple of years. So I think they're just trying to help get him through the season so they can get him pro. But you're going to see him play here and there. But he's not going to be he's not going to be out there full time. He doesn't need to be out there full time. They're probably trying to save him for the rest of the season. But they have to step up big plays because Brock will be covered. They can't cover Brock. They're not fast enough to cover Brock. Auburn wasn't fast enough to cover Brock. So just another reason why you're not going to be able to contain Brock Bowers. You can put 3 guys on him. They did it last week, and he was still catching balls, one-handed at that. So what do you do with that? Nothing. You just cry about it. That's all you can do. You just cry about it. So what we're looking at, yeah, I agree with you, Junkyard Dog. I think the team is still kind of, a little bit filling out its identity as to who, what, where, why, and when to throw the ball. Carson Beck is getting a little more confident, so he's throwing the ball downfield a little bit more. His completion percentage is absolutely insane. He's averaging over 300 yards a game. Mike Bobo and Carson Beck are doing fine. I am so sick and tired of Georgia fans saying, we need to fire Bobo. Are you sit down? Number one, who you going to replace him with? Pick me out somebody that you think is better than a guy who's been on the veteran team, who's been playing under the previous offensive coordinator, handed him the playbook, understands the players, understands the playbook, knows what Kirby Smart wants, how he wants it done, and can recruit. Name one. I'll wait. It's not going to happen, guys, because right now, Bobo is showing you exactly what we're paying him for. You may not like it, but you need to understand, number one, he's first-year offensive coordinator. And it doesn't matter whether you're at Georgia or Alabama, you've got a first-year offensive coordinator and a first-year quarterback. You're going to have some struggles. You're going to. There's nobody out there right now that has a brand-new quarterback and a brand-new offensive coordinator that's doing better than Georgia is. There's nobody. So when you look at Georgia's season so far, you look at the fact that Georgia is averaging 300 yards a game, and Carson Beck's throwing it like 70+%. He's a number 1 ranked quarterback in the country. And by the way, last week was his first road start. Can't help you guys. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. So if we look at what's going on with Georgia, you look at how Georgia lines up, matches up against Kentucky. Kentucky's a good football team. They are built, they are modeled after Georgia. They don't have as good of an offensive coordinator. They don't have as good as a quarterback, and they don't have as good a player talent level overall across the field. So, no, you're not going to see a likelihood of Kentucky winning this game. Georgia averages almost 100 yards more than Kentucky per game. They do have more yards in passing. Now, Kentucky's rush defense is pretty good. Newsflash, you don't really need that at Georgia right now. You don't. Georgia plays tough, hard-nosed football. If you look at last year when Georgia played Kentucky, just last year, Georgia played Kentucky, the score was crazy. It was insane. It was 16-6. It was the least amount of points Georgia scored all season, and it was the third. Well, you can't if you count zero. The third lowest that Georgia held anybody to all season. They held Kentucky to less points than TCU. You go back to 2021. Hey, guess what? 30-13. Go back to 2020. Hey, 14-3. This game is not going to be a high-powered, overwhelmingly 50-3 score for Georgia. No, Georgia knows that this is a very physical football team. They're going to get in the trenches with them, and they're going to beat them up. That's what's going to happen. Georgia's going to wait them out in the deep water and try to drown them. That's what's going to happen. Georgia is not interested in trying to run the score up on this. When we played Kentucky in 2020, Stetson Bennett threw for 131 yards. In 2021, Georgia, Stetson Bennett threw for 250. We only rushed for like 75 yards in that game. 2022, Stetson Bennett threw for 116 yards. Guys, Georgia knows, Kirby Smart knows exactly what they got to do to win this game. It's not necessarily that the running game is lacking. It's not necessarily the running game is not elite, but it's not lacking. Georgia's run game right now. You look at what Georgia is averaging per game. Where's it at? Georgia is averaging 150 yards in rushing. That's what we're averaging. But Kentucky's got an elite run game. They're averaging 170. That's a 20-yard difference, guys. You can't sit there and say Georgia doesn't have a run game. And not saying that you are. You can't say that Georgia doesn't have a quality run game and then turn around and say Kentucky's got an elite one whenever they're only rushing for 170. By the way, let me name the teams that Kentucky has played. Ball State, EKU. I'll give anybody a dime if they actually know what that team is. Akron, Vanderbilt, and Florida. Every one of those teams are trash. Every one of them. South Carolina is not a trash team. Neither is Auburn. Now, if you want to ask me which two teams are better this season, South Carolina and Auburn, or Vanderbilt and Florida, well, we all know it's South Carolina and Auburn. There's no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that as to which two SC teams are better. So get off your stump. Kentucky will attack the edge with Davis. They can't. They can't attack the edge with Davis. He's not fast enough. He's fast, but he's not as fast as Auburn. I know that's crazy, but if you look at what Auburn did to beat us, to beat us at the corner, what Auburn did to beat us was that they had the fact that we had to account for the quarterback. They don't have that. They're not going to have a run game with their quarterback. Question is can we play full focus football for all four quarters? We can. Will we? Do we have to? Probably not. Stetson got a statue yet. I don't know. He should. Other fan bases don't understand. Auburn ran a quarterback that they didn't believe would run. Today, we just have to stop a running back. Yeah. So now I'm also going to throw this out there for you. Whenever you're looking at a running back like Ray Davis, hey, I think he is a phenomenal running back. I would love to have him at Georgia. However, we also have to throw into the fact that I don't care how good a quarterback, how good a running back you are and what kind of shape you're in. If you run for like 300 yards last Saturday, you ain't going to be able to run like that this week. It ain't going to happen. Running backs are like tires. They have tread. You run that much, you're going to have problems. 28-14 Dogs. They also got to limit turnovers. All right, so let's talk about the turnover thing real quick. Last week, let's go back last week to Georgia versus Auburn, right? The two two turnovers that absolutely damaged what Georgia was doing was the immediately turnover after the kickoff at the half and the interception on our side of the field by Carson Beck. Both of those directly resulted to Auburn scoring 2 easy touchdowns. Easy touchdowns. Our defense had no room to work. Okay, so let's take both of those off the board. And let's say that we get 1 touchdown the other way. So that goes from being, 27 to 20 to something like 6 to 35. I mean, those turnovers were huge, which is uncharacteristics of a normal Georgia team. Jay Sipe says UGA hasn't allowed 100 yards of running, 100-yard running back in Athens since Bama with Richardson. You mean against us? But yes, you are correct. So here's what I think is going to happen. You're going to see Kentucky is going to try. This is what they're going to try. This is my opinion. Kentucky is going to try and use some of that edge stuff, and they're going to try to go to tunnel screens. For those of you that are not fluent in football language, they're going to try to go to short passes, and they're going to try to outmaneuver. They're going to kind of play this dink and dunk game and try to out-physical Georgia. I think what Georgia's going to do is Georgia's going to step the linebackers up. They're going to try to account for Ray Davis and say, if you want to beat us, you got to beat us through the air. You got to beat us through the air. And I don't know that Leary can do it. They're better at passing than they are at running, at least statistically speaking. But Georgia secondary is probably the better part of our team. I think playing last week the way we played against Auburn gave our guys some really good experience as to where they need to be, where they need to stand, what they need to do. And I don't look for Kentucky to do a whole lot. Georgia is absolutely going to sit on the run and make you beat us through the air. And we've seen better quarterbacks. Spencer Rattler couldn't do it. And I think Spencer Rattler is a way better quarterback than Leary. I really do. So, yeah. I don't like the new clock rules either. I think the new clock rules are absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't shorten play time of the game. It doesn't do anything to help you speed up the game. Because as a fan, I'm still sitting there for 4.5 hours, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with sitting there watching football for 4.5 hours. But we went from watching football to 4.5 hours to watching football for 3 hours and watching an hour or more worth of damn commercials. I get that you got to pay the bills, but guys, that's they got to change that. Because it seems like the first half goes by in about an hour and a half, hour 45, and the second half goes by in about an hour. That's what it feels like. But the rest of it is all commercials. Oh, Lord. 35-17. I wouldn't be surprised. If Georgia doesn't turn the ball over, this game could be 28-7. Maybe even 35-7. What do I think Georgia's going to do to beat Kentucky? I think that Georgia, I don't think that they were going to have any kind of answer for Brock Bowers. Everybody in the nation that is even looking at Georgia, whether they play us or not, is putting players in a position to try to defend Brock Bowers. And the problem is Brock Bowers he's a ancestor of the Nephilim. This dude is 6'4", 240 pounds, and can drag 3 people and catch the ball one-handed. He is a mismatch for 95% of the people in the country. Not just Kentucky players. That's the country. How many 6'4" linebackers do you know of that play in the SEC? Not many. Not many. I think that what you're going to see, I really think what you're going to see is you're going to see Georgia go out there, and they are going to hand the ball off here and there, and you're going to go, why are they handing the ball off? Because they want to pull those linebackers up a little bit. I think that you're going to see a combination of Brock Bowers, RJS, Dominic Lovett, and Ra Thomas. Now, you're going to get some Dejon thrown in there. You're going to get some Dylan Bell thrown in there. And you might even get some Cash Jones. You might get some of that thrown in there. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be plays that look very similar to what we saw last year. But instead of throwing to Brock Bowers, because they're going to squeeze in to try to cover him, they're going to throw to Lovett, Thomas, and Rosemy, Jack Saint. That's where they're going to go with the ball. And when that happens, what are you going to do? You're going to drop back to cover that, and then they're going to hand off to Dylan Bell. I mean, pick your poison here. Georgia's not going to struggle here. Hey, what's up, Sarah? How you been? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So he won't stay. No, Brock Bowers is going pro. No, he's going pro. He's gonna be a first round pick. He's gonna go pro. He's gonna sign for millions of dollars, and he's gonna go play for a terrible team for a couple of years, and then they're gonna trade him to a really good team. That's what's gonna happen. I would love to see him go to the Jets. I would love to see him go to the Jets. I'm not an NFL fan. I don't watch NFL, but what I will tell you is that Brock Bowers on there with all those other Dogs fans is going to be insane. Yeah, he's guaranteed top 10. He's top 10 pick, no doubt, no doubt. Porter, what's up, Mister Porter? Good to see you again, sir. Thank you for being here. You tuned in here just about the end of the game. I mean, the end of the show. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a very physical Georgia football team. They're going to get after the quarterback. They're going to make him try to get the ball out quick. They're going to try and hand it off to Ray Davis, and Georgia's going to absolutely plug them. Georgia's going to sell out on the run. They don't believe Dennis can beat him through the air. And every time he tries, he might get 5 or 6 yards. Georgia's going to live in the backfield. This guy's going to be running for his life. He's going to be running for his life. The only reason we didn't have more sacks last week against Auburn is because their dead blasted quarterback is so freaking fast. That guy can move, man. So, but yeah. So, what do I have in this game? What is my score? Brock Powers. I like it. That should be a t-shirt. Brock Powers. Y'all give Michael Porter some love, man. Michael Porter been around for a long time, man. Don't always say hi to him in the chat. Alex MLD, Pastor Dave, 225 girl, Junkyard Dog, man. A lot of my favorites in here. Eric Wallace, Jay Shipes for sure. Keith, Sammy, all you guys. If I miss your name, sorry. You know I love y'all. So we're gonna do some live shows today. Got some other stuff I got going on, so can't be here 24/7. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of breakdown this morning. Wasn't able to put a video out earlier in the week, but definitely wanted to give you guys my breakdown on what I think is going to happen. I think Georgia's going to try and make Kentucky beat them with their arm. Don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think Georgia's going to hold them to 10 points or less. I think Georgia should be able to run the score up around 28. So I think 28-10 is a fair score. You may see 31-10 somewhere in there. I think Georgia's going to be out to look to put on, I won't say a dominant performance, but a quality performance. Georgia's not going to try and run the numbers up in this game. So if you're one of those Georgia fans that's sitting there going, hey, this is going to be Georgia's breakout game, they're going to score 50 points. It's not going to happen. They're going to do that next week against Vanderbilt, and then the week after that, they're going to do it against Florida, or 2 weeks after that, they're going to do it against Florida. And then after that, it's Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee. So right now, I know people said Georgia's had a weak schedule, and that's fine. You can say that. But by the time we get to the end of the season, it looks like Georgia will have played 4 top 25 opponents. So we'll see how it plays out. I really appreciate all you guys being here. Look forward to seeing you guys when we do live shows. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit that like button, even if you don't like it. You're here for a reason, right? So hit the like button, helps beat the YouTube algorithm, helps push up into content. Suggested rating helps grow the channel. We're trying to get to 10,000. Probably won't happen before I die, but we're going to try. So we really appreciate you guys. Don't forget, have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.